So when you talk about reentry, right?
Mhm,
Reentry, because you're going to be coming out at some point, right? A lot of the times
mhm.
when people go,
Hopefully, that's the goal.
yeah. So most of the time, guys, when they get into these situations, right, they don't think about going home until they're close to going home, right?
Right,
Reentry needs to start from the moment you get incarcerated. You need to be thinking about, how am I going to transition from this? How am I going to get through this and then get back out and not go back into this?
right.
That is never a thought. Usually you get thrown in there, you're if it's your first time, it's okay, you're dealing with the whole social element of it, right? Am I going to get jumped?
Mhm.
Am I going to get beat up? Am I going to do, you know what I mean? So there's all of these things that you don't think about anything else, right? It's survival. And that's just in like those situations right there. When you get into the adult levels of it, it's usually guys that have 1 to 5 years are the ones that have the problems. The guys that are doing long term, 10 years, you know what I mean, 8, 12, 20, whatever, they're spending significant amounts of time away from people. They usually don't reoffend when they get out, right? They're just, I'm not doing that again. It's the 1 to 5s like myself who don't get the you know what I
The
mean? They don't follow that model, right? We get in and we don't think about reentry until we're, 2 months to the gate, and it's like, "All right, let's think
so
about."
you so the whole time that you were in the prison system, you didn't have access to therapy?
Not really. Not in I mean, you could go and do these little, like, A or NA classes, you know what I mean, or whatever it is that they offer there. But in the federal system, I was only there for 18 months, so everything was reserved for people that have more time, right? And there's
Right.
lists, there's waiting lists for these things. So even if you have 5 years, you know what I mean, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get into that, the RDAP program, which is a drug program, or any other of the programs that they have in the federal system. The state system, I don't know a whole lot about because I paroled out of it, and I was only there for 18 months anyway, so too. So there was never enough time. It's every time it was about, all right, well, I need to adjust because every new place is a new set of social things, right? And a new set of rules, a new set of politics for that particular place. So, I mean, and this is not just for me, this is anybody that's coming in. So imagine it's almost like, so think of it about like, think this is gonna be a funny analogy. So think of our politicians, right? And they get into office, and how much time do they spend actually trying to politic to get reelected for the next term, right? It's about 90% of their term is spent trying to get reelected and not dealing with their shit,
That is
right?
so
Which is
funny, yeah.
which is their fucking constituents, right? Well, it's the same thing in prison. You get thrown in there and you're too busy dealing with like not getting beat up or bad decisions that you made in
No,
there that are going to get you beat up, or you know what I mean? And so
I'm not
90
laughing because I think this is funny. I just have to say that to listeners. I'm laughing at your delivery because it's ridiculous and you're right. Like,
and it's the
it's
same thing.